it looks like they do want to get that trade where they get the Rengar for Inori. Inori is a guy who, before Rengar was even reworked, he's been playing Rengar his entire League of Legends career in solo queue. This guy was Rengar main.
Loved Rengar before he was even out.
It looks like the trade is going to go through Team Liquid. That would mean that they would definitely have to pick up the Kha'Zix in there sometime in the first round before the next series of bans comes through, because you definitely can't get your jungle pitched even further than that.
Zig's like, but I could take Jace. I could pick this.
He's previewing. Did you see what I did yesterday? Bullied Seraph pretty hard on Jace. He's getting scared, Lourlo? Not going to be the case, though. As expected, this is the trade that Phoenix1 are forcing. Now, it's very difficult to do this type of force versus any team besides Team Liquid because of ReignOver's champion pool, but they are going to be able to get that one through. This means Team Liquid, once again, they're going to take 2 power picks here in exchange and dictate the roles for both solo lanes.
Yeah. It's interesting when you come across those kind of caveats that teams have with a certain champion. You see kind of Origin always banning Camille no matter what side they're on in Europe. Another small one that you see. They're not very abundant, if you will. Teams usually don't have that negative.
It's definitely fun to theory craft the optimal pick bans, and then when you take into account all the specific champion pools and the tendencies of not only your players but the players you're going to be facing, that's where the fun and the twist definitely comes from. Before we move on to new patches and the top of the ladder does get changed up, but I do expect, I do expect an answer to one of the solo lanes here. I mean, the top lane, actually, there's a lot of options left open, so even if you do get hit with 2 more bans, they feel like they can pick the top lane later, because there are plenty of tanks. You can even ban out the tanks and then go for something like one of the DPS tops into Maokai, Fiora, for the split pushing pressure, and in this case, Phoenix1 will just answer the mid lane role.
See what the AD carry bans come out, if they choose to do so. The Kha'Zix easily picked up here for ReignOver.
Yep, this is the answer that we're looking for ever since the Rengar picked up. You need to pick up your jungler before the next round, because the entire point of Phoenix1's draft phase in the first half was to force that trade here. This being said, though, even if Phoenix1 are going to these lengths that we saw TSM do as well to get the Rengar and force this little trade here, Team Liquid don't feel too bad about the opening here, right? They've got the premier front line, which is the Maokai. Lourlo's been great on tank champions. They've got the Ryze for GoldenGlue in the mid lane. And Kha'Zix, while Kha'Zix is, maybe half a tier below Rengar, very comfortable in that matchup is ReignOver, as he's played it many, many times, as people are continuously forcing that trade onto him.
Fiora as well at that top lane ban for Team Liquid, so hitting up Zig to make sure he can't get what he needs. Lourlo's going to have a nice time. Let's see what the final ban is here for Phoenix1.
Yep, looks like they just want to take out the DPS answers and force the tank in the top side. I think that's actually good for Phoenix1, because if you look at the first 3 picks of Phoenix1, they're all DPS. Only crowd control they have is the Varus ultimate, as well as, an empowered Rengar Bola, which you can kind of count, but not really for a team fight, because he wants to use that for, empowered W for escape or extra damage. So need some more, solid crowd control if they want to go for a team fighting route, and I think they'll be forced into that as the primary split pushers taken off the board.
To find that Nautilus to their top lane, possibly. Things would have been real hectic if they actually got one of those Fioras and Jace. It would have been a fun game to watch, that's for sure. Zyra is picked up. Still waiting to see. Piglet actually says, I'm going to wait to figure out what they can actually put out for those tanks. What do I have to dodge to pick my AD carry?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting as well how Team Liquid have been willing to let their AD carry slip past the second ban phase more often than most of the other teams. Most other teams are very set on this Ashe Varus tier list, yet Piglet has actually played quite a few of the below tier AD carries with, Vayne, Twitches, Ezreal.
Kalista play as well.
Yeah, and this time around, though, Jhin is available, so if we're going by that list, that is a high probability. Interesting little Little different look on the tank top. Yeah, you mentioned the Nautilus. That's what you usually expect.
Right, yeah,
We've seen it over and over, but the Shen does add some extra threat to Rengar. And I always like to see assassins paired with, you know, extra die buddies like the Shen. So it really does put a lot more emphasis on these mid-game picks and mid-game plays for Phoenix1. If they can, you know, collaborate Inori and Zig as they've done thus far this season.
Zig obviously well versed on the Shen, but puts his unique champion pick in for the spring split on that one. Mostly Maokai for him, but that is in the hands of Lourlo. As we see the Caitlyn locked in overall, or eventually I should say here for Piglet and Team Liquid. Pretty safe lane to be going at that bot side. We mentioned that they had been a little lackluster. This should get them out of the laning phase quite nicely.
Yeah, it is a very long range duo here. It does mean, yeah, Caitlyn is going to have to wait to scale up a bit longer, especially since Varus is going for the armor penetration builds. I think all of this is pointing towards strong mid game here for Phoenix1. They want to push the tempo, I think, before Team Liquid get to their super solid team fight phase, where Maokai is super tanky, Caitlyn has plenty of attack multipliers here with critical and attack speed items, and they can just play that super standard. Everybody's in their formation and just DPS down front line. Whereas there are a lot more options early on in the game for Phoenix1. There may be a little slight bit of a timer on them.
You also see with the focus towards a ReignOver, the picked bans here, MF as well going up against the Zyra, so they shouldn't have too much trouble there for Adrian as well. You know, Liquid wanted to get through with a strong lane here, but they're actually going against one of their counters. So things slipping through with the focus of the bans all for the jungle really here in the first phase.
I do like the aggressive look here for Phoenix1. Misfortune, most common counter pick to Zyra that we have seen. Everybody's very well acquainted with it now. Had a while to sink in. One of my favorite stats actually was that her global win rate dropped 4% after that one game at Worlds, where everyone, oh my goodness, what a great, we can play support MF, that's amazing. But yeah, specific case for use only into Zyra.
I mean, it doesn't work against everything. I shouldn't play it against Braum. And
not quite. It does, just not as well. All right, everybody fanning out for a pretty defensive opening here. And I think that's the type of theme that Team Liquid are looking for this game, right?
30 seconds
Mainly we'll keep track of ReignOver and see if ReignOver can actually eke out one of those CS leads that we're so used to him having. CS is actually kind of a bad tracking system now for the jungle this season. It's much better to track average gold and average experience per minute here for the junglers, since Raptors and Krugs just throw the numbers out the window.
So easy to forget right away too. You look at it and you're like,
oh my god, he's got 12 CS more. Oh well, you know,
it's like old Targon stacks.
Exactly.
Oh my god, there's so many. So we'll see ReignOver. Yesterday watching him play, actually, he was going red, and then he did a first game full camp Raptors, and then around to his blue, and then he had kind of transitioned to red of baby Raptor, and then continuing his line.
Yep.
He was just doing his own thing.
Also, remember to take into account the blast cones. They have opened up a couple more options for routes that previously would waste a few more seconds. Those things are actually quite useful. Not to mention the ones that are pretty obvious, where going for ganks where you blast over the dragon pit or something like that. Meanwhile, though, we should mention the early ward from Phoenix1 that was placed on ReignOver's red. So they are aware that he started on the bottom side this time around. And we'll see what Inori can actually do with him being the one with the early intelligence on ReignOver, rather than the other way around, which ReignOver is usually used to having. Another thing worth mentioning, you know, since it is early on in the game, the way that you clear with Kha'Zix is extremely important. He's actually one of the most played junglers in solo queue, and the mistake I see most often from a lot of people is, number one, failing to get isolations on your camps, like the wolf camp, where you want to kill off the small ones first, but also kiting is extremely important. Kha'Zix is an assassin. However, he can clear and still have plenty of health if you kite appropriately. And what you want to do, especially with monsters that have very slow attack speeds like blue buff, you can easily get in 2 of your auto attacks as well as 1 Q for every single auto attack of the blue buff if you're kiting back. If you're just face tanking it, though, you go 1 for 1. Let's take a look at his first gank, though, as he's moved up to the top side.
Flash, twisted advance in, so the follow may not be there. ReignOver does have it, but he doesn't want it, knowing the shield is coming back up to Zig. So a good attempt there. May try in mid as well. Inori doesn't want to leave the game in a lull.
Yep, Inori gonna have a free shot at GoldenGlue exhaust on, and they are gonna get the double summoners for a single. So both ganks are rewarded with summoners, and different solo lanes targeted though. Now, Shen is just gonna try and play extremely defensively now, because on display in that last gank was how well Maokai can set up ganks for someone like Kha'Zix, who brings a lot of damage but doesn't really bring crowd control. So Zig is really going to have to respect that. Shen already wants to get to that level 6 anyway, so just going to try and grind out that CS now. I think the more difficult lane is going to be the mid lane. See how GoldenGlue fares without his 2 utility summoners, or 2 mobility summoners, and fights for the vision around mid lane. Because that's really going to be a duo effort between ReignOver and GoldenGlue to try and get that vision. Ooh. Aha. Rengar able to pass right through, and maybe they turn this around. Lourlo did use his flash offensively, remember.
He could twisted advance to Inori right now and gain some distance. Inori flashes forward to deny the twisted advance distance, get himself in range, and they are going to be able to come up with that kill. Nicely played.
I love it. You know, continuing with the theme of yesterday, actually, just last night, talking about so often when you blow a flash offensively to try and set up a gank, your jungler ganking, it's just as punishable, especially if they don't get the kill on you, as defensively blown flashes. And even though topside was originally the ReignOver gank site, Lourlo was the one who blew his flash. It was a good twisted advance, to dodge the slow there from the Bola, but since Zig was able to get away without it, boom, gets right in there, able to land the taunt, and they are the ones who actually claim first blood. So 2 ganks there for Inori. Second one actually finds the kill. And ReignOver, meanwhile, will have an experience lead at the moment because he only went for 1 gank, got right back into farming. And we'll see what he can do with this, because if Kha'Zix does get to the level 6 first, then he becomes really potent in those duels. Good poke here by the bottom lane.
What a monstrous wave to have crash into the turret. Arrow's keeping good pace on it. Seems with this breather, I want to take a moment to go back to the kiting of jungle, because a lot of you said on blue buff, a lot of people will try to go in and out of the brush or kite around. Do you even have to go in the brush, or are you just stepping away from your camp and then autoing again?
That's a really good point to bring up. The new masteries, there is a new mastery where Greenfather's Gift, you get more damage if you're into a brush, and it does work on jungle minions. So, if you are clearing out camps, keep track of the cooldown on that mastery. It's taken by quite a few junglers, especially these assassins that like to get extra damage from brush anyways, and it can be used for that PvE style as well. Let's check back in on that top lane though, because not only did Zig get the extra kill here onto Lourlo, he's up in CS, he's up in experience. There's so much pressure now because of this move to the top side for Phoenix1 that they can easily transfer anywhere on the map. Lourlo can't answer, doesn't have his teleport as they both exchange them. So Stand United is really an unanswerable big tool that Phoenix1 have to press that mid-game tempo that we're setting up in Champion Select. This is really such a great start for Phoenix1.
And they do have the composition for in the bot lane to do it. You get that Chain of Corruption out. That's perfect for Stand United. Timing, it's all easier said than done, but that could play out in their favor. They're going to catch Piglet and Matt off guard, maybe? Coming up on that level 6. No Zig already has it for the TP. Good damage by Ryu. Exhaust onto GoldenGlue, trying to keep him in range. One more shot, and he gets him. It's going to be ReignOver over the wall. Flashes through his minions. Nicely done. ReignOver cannot follow.
Absolutely destroyed, and the action continues here as Matt's flash is forced. Blue buff is up as well. That is easy pickings. Ryu with a complete destruction of GoldenGlue in the mid lane, all by himself. Might have to look at the replay to see the flash timer on that one. I think it was still down for GoldenGlue, or he most certainly would. What a flash.
Both Bolas just on the edge of ReignOver. I don't think they want to fight back too much right now. They do have GoldenGlue coming here. We'll see if P1 overstays their welcome.
Man.
There's the ulti from Inori. This is going to give GoldenGlue time to get back in. They make sure ReignOver's low. Ryu can look over the wall now with the missiles. That's going to be Mac going down. GoldenGlue is just on the edge. Ryu's looking for a veil from the wall. Oh, he comes back in. That's going to be the kill going over to Adrian. Inori low. He's going to use that for a heal, a quick disengage.
Maybe a bit miscommunication there. Zig actually ulting on Ryu, who jumps out, whereas Inori didn't have flash, so Inori had to walk his way around. And maybe if they had some better coordination, they might have been able to play more aggressively with that Shen ultimate. I thought it was going to be, you know, a bigger part of the bottom lane influence, but because of the really good sniping from Arrow over this wall. Look at this skirmish, because you look at it and you're like, okay, so this should be a pretty early Shen ultimate coming in here, right? They have the advantage, but on the bottom of your screen there, right in the corner, Arrow just up on the top side, able to land the ultimate and the extra damage to get that first early kill and advantage for Phoenix1. However, as you see there, Shen ultimate on the backside where Ryu escaping rather than, you know, going super aggressive. So even though it went well for Phoenix1, were some things they could clean up to get maybe a little bit more out of that. All being said though, you know, good snipes there from Arrow on the bottom side, and definitely an increase here for Phoenix1. They want to keep that tempo high.
Incredibly explosive, just off of Ryu hitting GoldenGlue. Obviously Inori was in range for that, but now Ryu coming back, package in hand and blue buff. GoldenGlue's going to have to play a little safer with this second pick blind Ryze here that they got on red side. He was pretty confident with this one.
Yeah, confidence not going to help him out here though versus Ryu, as Ryu has had complete control, and he's liberally using this exhaust to force summoners, gain pressure on GoldenGlue, play this super aggressively in lane. And a lot of that also does have to do with, again, we visit the success of Inori early and how so much pressure was lost mid that it turned into vision around mid. Meanwhile, bottom though, Inori is hunting Piglet.
He knows. Ooh, Stranglethorn goes down, but he flashes over it. The exhaust should pull him off. He still wants to get the few attacks in just to give Matt a hard time. Exhaust or not, they lose Piglet. And you're going to wait for him to come back to lane. This will put some pressure on the turret. But it's relentless right now for P1. TL have to try something.
Even though this doesn't look like a huge play from Zig, this is a mistake we still see so often where if your team overloads the bottom side of the map and makes a play there, top laner still is like, oh wait, my team's doing great, and he's just CSing at turret. Zig actually backs off. He recognizes, hey, I'm on the weak side of the map. Yep. You know, it kind of sucks to give up this turret and trade, but I need to do that to avoid death, and he appropriately backs off so that he also doesn't give over a kill with that turret trade. So Team Liquid trying to get something back here, but it's really Phoenix1 out to an amazing early start.
And honestly, in that situation for Zig, since it was forced by the bot lane, you're going to get a pile of minions. They're not letting that die at the turret, so nicely waiting behind, picks those up, actually just sitting up at the top. He's going to go and clean them up now as they pile even more. So like you said, P1 in the driver's seat here to start this one off. 2K gold lead along with that Ocean Drake. So it's going to be nice for Inori to stay out now, have some fun in the jungle.
Inori extremely happy with this game. We mentioned, you know, he's got such a long history on Rengar. Even just starting out in Champ Select, he feels really comfortable. But then also starting the game with that extra ward to see the starting location of ReignOver. The first two ganks. These NA junglers have really been making a splash this season, Riv.
Yep.
And a lot of people are talking about, yeah, it does look like one of the best roles for the region as a whole as far as, you know, native players. And they are definitely big on trash talking as well.
A lot of that homegrown talent coming in as well. It's like all these JV guys, the Challenger Series are now coming up, being accepted onto these teams, and Nori definitely made a name for himself coming in. And since, as you said, that ward from picks and bans, they've made sure to give ReignOver a hard time. 3 bans in the first phase, that ward to start off. If we can find him, we can stop him.
It's so rare to find any professional jungler that just you know, will not play Lee Sin. So that's why we see all these champ selects that look a bit strange for, you know, maybe any other team against these guys, but ReignOver has had success in many metas where Lee Sin is still popular. He's still found a way with his more tanky champions. Some around though. Kha'Zix a little bit behind. It's not the end of the world here for Team Liquid though. as we set up in Champ Select as well for these guys, they do have the farm for late option, even though you don't always want to be like, oh goodness, we need to start giving up stuff and playing defensively and farming for late. Sometimes, you know, that is your option. You get your Maokai to the tanky phase and your Caitlyn farmed up, then you start to try and take the fight.
It's so hard for TL to stand in these turrets, but if you're coming over the wall, maybe you can give a surprise stand united onto Ryu, a flash out as he realizes it might be the end. And ReignOver is gonna have to back. Oh, Inori in between the turrets.
Where's he going, though?
I don't know if he's gonna go anywhere. One last hit. Oh, Summoner heal from Arrow. The broman for the entire team, and they get out with 2 kills under the nose of Team Liquid.
Sick champion, Battle Roar, empowered Battle Roar plus Battle Roar, able to heal him up. Maybe 500-600 HP there. You use it right after you take these tower shots and negates them, but they're still getting kills here. Ryu finds GoldenGlue again with the flank.
Ryu, the guy you thought backed, is still in the mid-rush. Team is going to be waiting for Liquid to kind of converge on that wave. The wave reset, they said more kills. Team Liquid feels like they have breathing room, but this is when we snap down. And P1 puts down the stranglehold, mid-turret down along with that bot earlier. They have top and they're done with the outer ring.
Man, they are just flying fast and loose here in this game. Phoenix1, 5,000 gold lead already. Let's take another look at this dive. Inori goes for that full length jump from the bush behind the turret. Only does work if Zyra gets right up against that wall, and he finds it right into an ultimate for another jump.
3,
and then this is where you think
4,
he's done, right? Empowered Battle Riot gets rid of
5.
that one. Regular Battle Riot gets rid of that one. And the Summoner heal as well from Arrow, I believe, to be able to get that extra move speed and life to get him out. So they did use a decent amount to get him out, but that was definitely worth extracting Inori from under the turret, as he's the one with 4 kills and he's got a bounty on his head.
Watch out, Kobe. He's looking for your Indomitable title. Take that right away.
Rengar getting fed this early is so scary as well. Does stack up the passive, so you get extra AD for each unique champion that you do take down. Plus, you know, that's on top of all this AD he's building here. It looks like he is going to go for that cleaver build, so he's going to have a lot of flat AD that's going to get increased. So Ryu actually 1v3, but he's got package. Should be able to scare him off, actually.
Yeah, Liquid is thinking twice about just about everything they do right now, even with the majority in numbers, because all of the wards sit on their side of the map, currently trying to stave off any more sieges. Surprised it's not top lane right now for P1 as they try to get a few more, even with a minute on the Drake. A few more kills, clear out that map, and then get their vision forward. Maybe that's what they're waiting for.
Definitely true. That's how you definitely press and keep your transition from your mid game into the Baron fights and the inhibitor sieges, the late game there, a lot more smooth. Yes, they are snowballing, but the way to really secure that victory with the early lead is move up that extra vision, so you get more picks.
They don't even have the vision really yet. They're just going to go ahead and own the jungle. That works as well.
They're just cornering them under the orange
wall of bodies. Flash over for ReignOver. Lourlo looking for the right twisted advanced target. Ryu already channeled the Valkyrie, so Lourlo kind of out of a target to keep hitting there. Everything playing in favor of P1 as TL is trying their damnedest to keep these turrets up, but continue to have to watch them fall. 17 minutes in, final turret goes down in the outer for Team Liquid.
And you notice how they target the Kha'Zix here, squishy assassin rather than the Maokai, even though they know Kha'Zix can go invisible and he's a little bit further away. They expend their cooldowns very liberally here. Flash, Shen, ultimate, immediately just get on him, kill him quickly because they know they have such a big lead. And Zig here takes a very good trade with Piglet to force him off the turret as well. That other advantage of the Shen can be 2 places on the map. Seconds after he was just making a play top. Teleport is used.
And Infinity Edge for Piglet. Still quite a bit of armor on Zig. They may not be able to get too far through that.
Yeah, it's a good point you bring up. Yeah, you always want to get that crit multiplier and attack multipliers for Caitlyn, and yeah, it takes a while for her to get there. This game is not going at the pace where you allow the Caitlyn to get to that point. Varus, meanwhile, 1 item, he's good to go. He's got some lethality, he's got his tier, and he's able to bring a lot of utility to the team fight. That's why we see so much more Ashe and Varus. Very, very prevalent so far in the start of the season. Now, we talk a lot about Inori, you know, and he's looking good on this Rengar. Rengar's a flashy champion. Everybody likes to live that life of being an assassin and getting all these kills.
Inori.
But honestly, Ryu here, such a big pickup in the offseason for Phoenix1. So much of it is about this mid lane control. Yeah, you know, jungle pressure did allow him to get vision around mid and play aggressively, but he punished GoldenGlue so heavily in the mid lane. Just spamming that exhaust and getting those kills. GoldenGlue again actually is targeted, has to blow more summoners.
Looks like he's gonna be able to run more far enough away, but even when he doesn't have Ryu in lane, he's getting picked on by others. He doesn't have a lane. Oh my word! Free to himself. Absolutely demolished. I didn't have words for a second. Piglet and Mac get caught out in the wrong spot, but you can see, even with a bit of vision, knowing where they are in the river, P1 is just a few steps ahead, and they still make it work.
I mean, we keep seeing Rengars get through versus various teams, and it's not a good idea. I guess like getting forced into a bad situation here is Team Liquid. And Phoenix1, they're not going to give them any time to stack up here for the late game. Another turret going to go down as they just continue to pressure.
It's not even like a front end burst. It's like an every end burst. It just keeps going. There's no stop.
Huge AoE there. We saw he can not only just chunk the one he's jumping onto with the auto crit into the Qs, but Q being changed into AoE gets both of the members of the bottom lane there, and even with the numbers disadvantage, able to gain so much pressure.
Infernal Drake coming up next. One already picked up by P1, so they're feeling pretty good about that as we see this one more time.
There we go. All right. It sees enemies at all points, dodges the Zyra. He actually just jumps right over the Caitlyn trap, doesn't even care, and is able to get into the bush. Oh, look, another short hop, no problem, to pick up those two quick kills.
Quick hopscotch.
20 minutes, Riv. This is looking like it is going to be a quick opener as we have another Infernal Drake on the way. Best snowballing Drakes definitely by far here. And Phoenix1, not only to have this early gold lead, but control the entire map. And when you do have a Rengar that's this fed, no area without a turret is really safe for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
And it's even questionable whether the turret areas are actually safe at this point. So they really have so few options that you have to go into that team mentality of, okay, we got to farm for super late, hope for mistakes, unforced errors from the enemy team. You know, maybe they'll get overconfident with their giant lead and go for some dive and mess a couple of those up. But it does look towards a stage where you're thinking about the next game and how you want to play it differently. Luckily for Team Liquid, in the next phase, they're on blue side, so the same pinching of ReignOver's champions is much less likely because then, you know, you can go for something like
you say that
or the LeBlanc or something like that. Yeah, I mean,
I
honestly though, people have been willing to give over the LeBlanc in exchange for the Rengar pick, and you know, that is a strategy you can take from red side to try and mix up the standard, oh, we got to ban out all the OPs. But yeah, that is a bit far in the future. Feeling like pretty confident here for Phoenix1 though as they move up. Bush attempt here for Team Liquid. Can they surprise someone?
You're saying safety from turrets and whatnot. I was going to say, on that point, it's hard to even find safety from your wards. Inori can just walk right over it and still kill you.
He's
in a
coming
group
again.
of 1 or 2 people. The team's going to engage. This should give them enough pressure to hit this top turret pretty hard, at least with Inori just having his ultimate on. As the wave approaches, let's see how much damage they can get on it.
The red alert global notification from Rengar. Everybody run to the turret, group up, everybody huddle together. Gonna have to give away that turret. There's no way they can defend these outers. It's all about the inhibitor turret defense because you have that extra added defense of the walls where it kind of funnels the enemy team a little bit. That being said, you need more than that to overcome this large of a gold difference this early in the game. And Phoenix1, since they see the enemy so cooped up, going for that Baron.
Inori has this habit of being 2 levels over his opposing jungler. Makes the game quite easy for him.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to care about much when he's roaming around in the jungle bigger than
interesting strategy.
multiple people. Good plan, good plan.
Honestly though, Phoenix1, since they have so many tools, we can talk about how they can accelerate this, right? Every time we see a lead this big, you start getting critical of, oh, why are they taking so long? Right now, they're not taking so long, but you want to look at you always want to look at ways to optimize, because you are going to come up against more and more difficult opponents. Everybody's always looking towards that end game, towards international competition. You really do need to be able to keep up the pressure, even when you're in games like this. So, split push here with Shen is quite clear. He had a very good start. 0-0-5 is like a perfect Shen score. He's got all these assists. Double tank items already. He's a full item over Lourlo, so even Maokai, who's so good at CSing at his turret and kind of trying to play defensively there, is going to be a point of weakness, right? He's pinned under that turret, whereas Zig has so much more mobility. Not only does he have this full item lead, he's got the extra global, so you can push up the lane, force a global, get right back there to forcing again, and it's just like Team Liquid. It really takes away so many options from them.
In a perfect world, Kobe, who does Team Liquid catch first, and where do they go after that?
Someone that they can actually 100-0, right? You know, you have to get one of the squishy targets. GoldenGlue is caught.
Or they get caught first. Over the wall, Ryu, oh! He's making that one sure. Goes in on Matt. Matt gets hit 1-2. Zig's in as well. Coming in with the stand united and the flash forward to keep in range, and 2 members of GoldenGlue go down.
No brush is safe against Rengar here, right? Riv, you know, the typical turtle defense style is, oh, we got to ward up our red side, you know, and try and hide in one of these brush on my pink ward. As you said, though, brush are not safe against Rengar. He just runs right in, and they continue to chase you because you give him another jump being in there. Lourlo here going for a super desperate play. Maybe ReignOver can try and stall this out, but even if they get it, risky.
Stands toe-to-toe with ReignOver immediately, throwing the exhaust down. He's going to be in trouble, though. Baron gets jumped off of. P1 gets a little overzealous on this one. Nori still feels confident for the fight. ReignOver stays too close. They're on to Lourlo. Piglet actually doesn't have enough to maybe Calibernet get himself some traps for safety, so he's very far away from the autos. Now tries to step forward. Unfortunate Team Liquid couldn't get their damage in on that.
Team Liquid are happy that kind of broke out into chaos, though, because ReignOver was able to take flash into an isolation Q auto there for a big burst with the Thunderlords onto Ryu and take out the main, one of the main points of damage for the team and put a stop to this Baron. Those are the types of plays that Team Liquid are looking for at this point. They're not looking for, oh, we're going to make our huge comeback game-winning play at the moment. Yep. They're just looking for stall play, stall play, stall play at the moment. Right now, though, being hunted again.
Trap. Oh, he squeezes through. Oh, he missed anyways. They're on to GoldenGlue now. He should be going down. No ultimate to be used there. They're on to Piglet now. He stayed. Woo! And Chickens! Goes down. Chickens, but he gets the heal out. He's roaring at home. And I think they're going to head away from Baron this time. Inori looks like he can go down quite fast, but right back in. P1, do not wait. They want that vision back, and you know what? They'll get some kills if it comes with it, too.
Yeah, and you really need to have a healthy amount of respect for the package here on Ryu. Yeah, they just killed him and he went down, but whoa, long range there, actually. No more respect given because package already used. He's actually going for a super AP heavy build as well, with some more AP after the Gunblade was built. A lot of people will go for that Infinity Edge, but let's see if he gets picked off again here, because he's the one playing defense.
Smite was just used on Ryu, so you know ReignOver's going to be going down here in an attempt to just get some money back, get some kills back for the team. He goes down, and as well, P1.
Legendary Rengar, Riv! 8 kills now right there for Inori. Let's take another look. You can pop this ultimate super early now, just for extra move speed. So he pops it. Yeah, they get an alert, but he can run across half the map here with that move speed. To collaborate here with Zig. He does get GoldenGlue down, and then the Raptors for Team Liquid are trying their best to help him out. They're like, we got this one. We'll take him down for you. But unable to get that first kill onto Rengar. Inori did survive and does get to keep his legendary streak.
Another Infernal Drake for a relentless Phoenix1. Inori lighting the fire under them for this game here, with Ryu just closing down in the mid lane, making it that much easier for all the lanes to not really feel any pressure. A lot was focused mid. ReignOver was trying to get himself back in, and if nobody feels pressure, you come out beautifully.
Definitely true, and now they've got the Baron because of it. That makes your push in super easy with your split on the Shen. They'll be able to take that turret, and so much power here, even with this full line of Caitlyn traps. They're keeping them pinned down. Piglet actually gets shot in the back line. Caitlyn now super low, has to have a wide range between him and any sort of damage. He gets chunked down a little bit. This is such a strong showing for Phoenix1, Riv. And you know, with the start of this season, right? The top of the table for North American LCS teams was taken down. Team Liquid lost Double Lift. You know, the Immortals lost both Booney and ReignOver, lost a lot of their key players. So the top end was weakened pretty heavily, and that has made space for a lot of these middle teams to make surges towards the top, you know, and try and make a name for themselves. Phoenix1 have definitely been one of those teams with a lot of those off-season acquisitions that definitely improved the squad, and very strong showing here against Team Liquid. Definitely bodes well for them.
Yeah, it's really come from the teams that have demanded respect as well. We hear a lot of these junglers coming in, talking a lot of talk. They're starting to back it up. You see those teams doing a bit better than most. Camaraderie come together right now for P1 as they enter the base behind that jungler, behind Inori on this game. And that first pick, Rengar, as they come into game one of the series. It looks like they are looking to put the final touches on, as long as they didn't do anything too foolish.
Yep. They still have plenty of Baron buff left to go. Inhibitor number 2 will go down. And it's a pretty quick clean up here. Just under 30 minutes, they're gone the inhibitor, or on the next turrets. Oh, GoldenGlue!
All the time. That's going to force it back to the fountain. ReignOver's going to make it there with half HP. Inori chasing them all the way home. We're going to get a little focus on the Nexus turrets. The super minions are doing the work too. And this is where it might get a little sketchy. P1 knows there's a few too many low health bars on their side, and they say one Nexus turret is good for now.
Yep, going to be able to take out more than half of the base of Team Liquid. Then recall with this Baron buff and spend a whole bunch of money here. Giant item pickups here. Full tier 3 items being picked up by multiple members of Phoenix1. And collecting the 3rd Infernal Drake on top of it. This is just the icing on top of the early game slaughter here for Phoenix1. Full power. All right, let's take a look at this. Inori circling around, right into 3 members. Maokai, don't care. Exhaust, don't care. Take down your AD carry. 1v5. I'm going to get out here with the Shen ultimate.
Now he takes damage.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, all right. So ReignOver, Piglet, best buddies right now. Ryu, looking to get between that friendship.
Oh, wow.
Playing a little smart there with a quick ward.
Laughing at him.
Ooh.
Nice cupcakes, bro.
Yep.
All right.
Fourth
Anyways,
pick
they'll just return to that split, right? They've got these super minions now, gonna help them out.
Man, I hope so.
Lend a hand.
It's like the best idea for them right now. They really want to get everything here. They're gonna go for the top side, shred the rest of the base as the super minions wreak havoc on the bot.
All right. Right over the cupcakes. Thread the needle here for Ryu and Arrow. Half the turret health is gone. Team Liquid got to pull the trigger, but it looks like they're under fire.
Oh, nice package to GoldenGlue. He's separated for the team. That's a 1-2 from Arrow, and Ryu, he stays alive.
They flashed the present.
And they're going for the Nexus turrets now. This time it's the focus. They want the win. A great game coming out of P1 here from start to finish. The jungle, the mid, and everybody coming together for a fantastic showing. 20-2, P1 takedown TL for game 1.
Yeah, absolutely demolished there, and GoldenGlue just stunned after that one. Inori in the jungle makes an early